Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Google Hangout. This Hangout is hosted by myself, Anna, Beverly, and Amy. Today, we will be discussing the tools ThinkPort, Apollo, Formule, Ant, and Pickler. I'm going to go ahead and get us started today by talking about ThinkPort. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up my Prezi. So what is ThinkPort? ThinkPort is made through PBS and MPT, Maryland Public Television, to provide learning resources specifically for Maryland educators. It provides standard-based websites and learning activities for pre-K through high school, and offers online professional development sessions and training for teachers. You can subscribe to MPT Education News e-newsletter. So I'm going to go ahead and take us to ThinkPort's website to show you guys all about ThinkPort. So here's the home page, and there are several awesome resources directly on the home page. I want to get us started by talking about the Literacy for All Grades section right here. They offer graphic organizers and a really cool tool called Annotated that I'm going to show you guys. So for the graphic organizers, you just click right here on the link, go to graphic organizers, and it takes you to this list of all the different organizers they offer, from character maps, compare contrast, hypothesizing, plot diagrams, story maps, timelines, and diagrams, and so much more. And you can download them right here from the website for free. We'll download directly onto your desktop. These are suitable for all grades, just your basic different graphic organizers used in reading and language arts. So a free resource already designed for you, definitely something to keep in mind to use ThinkPort for. And Annotated is a tool that MPT has designed for teachers and students. You can use ThinkPort's Annotator tool to analyze text and build writing skills. You simply paste in your text, select your virtual markers, and have students annotate the passages. Students submit their work and receive your feedback virtually. So it's a great way to integrate technology in the classroom. Students are generally motivated because they get to use technology and a new tool instead of just your basic old highlighter and post-it notes and pencils, and teachers can view all their work. It's engaging and students typically really enjoy it. So that is something you can access right from the homepage as well. So as we scroll down, you'll see the news and announcements here at the bottom. And ThinkPort updates this for different events going on in Maryland that are great for teachers, students, parents, families. So for example, coming up on October 22nd is Be My Neighbor Day from 10 to 1 in Annapolis, Maryland. You can join MPT, Historic Annapolis, and PNC Bank for the Be My Neighbor Day. Bring the kids and grandkids and help them learn why it's important to give back to others. So again, that's October 22nd from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. And of course, you'll find out about all of those events if you subscribe to MPT Education News e-newsletter that I had mentioned when we got started. So subscribe to our e-newsletter to see what's happening in education at MPT. Find recommendations for resources, professional development opportunities, and updates on local events. So you click right here to go to subscribe, or you can go to their archives and check out past e-newsletters just to get a feel for what they're about and see if you're interested, or if you want to refer back for specific information. So for an example, we'll look at the latest one. It's from October 5th, 2016, ThinkPort Newsletter Autumn Activities. So if we click on that, it takes us, it's all about October and the different things going on. So October is National Bullying Prevention Month, Columbus Day, and of course Halloween. There's a focus on Edgar Allan Poe and poetry unit, and of course event reminders right there at the bottom. So again, Be My Neighbor Day, come meet Daniel Tigers, Saturday, October 22nd. And since October is of course Halloween, they've even designed a special website specifically for Halloween to use in the classroom that is safe to use and education-based. So click on that and you'll see Happy Halloween and all the different activities they have from their various shows, and of course parent resources as well for their kids. So this would be something great to share on your parent resources page on your website. So that's the news archive. And of course, also here on the side, you can subscribe to the newsletter or follow them on their Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube channel, and Pinterest page. They do have a sidebar down here. Their Twitter, they do frequently tweet, so that would be a great way to get connected with them if you are on Twitter. So that is their homepage, but there is so much more to the website. If we click here on Learning Resources, if we're elementary school teachers, we'll go ahead and we'll scroll down here and select elementary school. And they have it broken down to you by the different content areas. So literacy, math, science, social studies, STEM, digital literacy, the digital tools such as the annotator tool that we discussed earlier, and then literacy and math resources for teachers. So not only is it broken down by subject matter, but also whether it's for students or for teachers. So we'll scroll back up and we'll take a look at some of these. If we go to the elementary school literacy page, right now they have a lot of different games up, different wordplay games, synonyms, lots of fun things that you know are safe to use in the classroom, maybe at centers or if a student finishes early. These are great options to go to on here. If we go to elementary school math, there's one really cool thing I wanted to show you guys. They have this collection specifically designed for out of school work. So after school, winter break, summer break, whatever it may be. These are out of school time math, and they offer the activity plan for the teacher with the printouts and different things the students would need, a little bit more background about the math learned, and then also a letter to send home to parents because the students will be working outside of school on these activities, and it gives the parents a little background about what this activity is for, what their child will be doing, and any questions they might have. So a really cool tool to use. Math also has other various resources. This one is actually designed for math educators to help support their professional development needs in building math knowledge and instructional practice. So that one is for teachers. Another way to keep yourself up to date as a teacher and engage in professional development. Then there is science, social studies pages, and there also is a STEM category, which I thought was really great because STEM is new, and sometimes it's hard to find valid, really good educational resources for STEM. But PBS and MTT offer them right here on ThinkPort. So you click Go to Elementary School STEM. And this one actually has modules that students can work through. They get to learn the content and then participate in activities. So this is something they can do completely individually and on their own, and then turn in the activities to you. So like this one is, are our homes built for severe weather? Students learn about severe weather such as hurricanes, blizzards, tornadoes, heat waves, and excessive rain. And they use an online tool to develop weatherproofing solutions to protect homes. And it tells you, again, it's specifically designed for grade 3. So all of these modules are virtual, they're interactive, students typically are really engaged by them, and they're already made up for you. You don't have to do anything yourselves, but it's a great way to add in some extra enrichment for STEM, especially with time constraints in the classroom. This is a great way to get it in for students the best you can. There's a digital literacy section, which I thought was awesome, especially considering the increased use of technology in classrooms. But we want to make sure that we are promoting it solely for educational purposes and teaching our students how to be smart on the web. So this interactive resources uses animators, websites, and a quiz to help students learn how to evaluate the reliability of information found on the internet. So you click Go to Web Smarts. And it's a module that will take you through and you participate, and it's interactive and engaging and teaches you just how to be smart on the web, how to make those good, safe decisions that we really want to stress to our students as we incorporate more technology in our classrooms. Go back, and then there's the digital tools, so the annotator tool that we talked about. And then you have your resources for teachers. So they have a specific section for literacy and math. So for our example, if we go to literacy resources for teachers, we'll see there are different modules and videos that teachers can work through as well to make sure that they are engaging in professional development and staying up to date in their practices and instruction. So this one is all about creating text-dependent questions for the classroom. This short, self-paced professional development module demonstrates a clear process for generating text-dependent questions for use with literature and informational text at all grade levels. So that is something accessible for any grade level. and is right here available to you for free just to get some extra practice and engage in that professional development. So that leads me into the online courses section of ThinkPort. You can click on the overview here, and you'll see that this is all through the Maryland State Department of Education, PBS Teacher Line, CTE, and ThinkPort online courses. They offer graduate credit courses, MSD CPD credit courses, and MSD clock hour courses. So for example, we can look at the graduate credit courses, and it will list the different ones being offered in the syllabus for you to preview. So right now there's Math in Everyday Life for grades K through 5, differentiating math lessons for a range of learners, and many more. For our MSD CPD credit courses, we can take a look at those. And again, you see the title, the credits, when it's being offered, the syllabus, and the status. So right now we have Digital Citizenship, a tech literacy class, differentiating instruction to accommodate learning styles, teaching phonemic awareness and phonics for pre-K through 3, and many more. So this is a great opportunity to engage in professional development and make sure you are staying up to date on your teaching practices and are bringing the best, only the best instruction to the classroom. For the education community, there are things for the family. So another great thing to share with the parents of your classroom. The newsletter archives that we had already took a look at earlier, and additional education features are also sometimes listed here. But that is ThinkPort, all designed through Maryland Public Television to help out our Maryland teachers. So I suggest all of you to take advantage of this awesome tool. And here's my references that has ThinkPort's link. So thank you for listening to ThinkPort. Does anybody have any questions?
So you said that it's mostly geared to Maryland educators. Do you think that other educators from different states would find this like valuable to them, or no?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, certain things, of course, no. Like the newsletter, a lot goes out just specific to Maryland and the different events and things. But as far as the general resources, like the videos, the games, all of those things are great for any teacher from any state. The professional development won't be, because all that, again, is through the Maryland State Department of Education. But just the basic resources for students, or even the Web Smarts module, any of those things are great for anybody anywhere.
Okay, and then I also I thought it was really interesting that they had the newsletter and that they put like certain events that are happening in Maryland. So then you can like get with your students, teachers, and even the parents can like come together and like have a sense of community and like really get involved in things together. So I thought that was like a really good aspect to have of it. So
yeah, I really enjoyed that too. It's definitely a great thing to take a look at, and to even be on the lookout to send things out to your students and their parents, even if you can't personally attend. But it definitely keeps you up to date, and like you said, gives that sense of community. So that was ThinkPort.
And I also have a question.
Okay.
Since there is a bit of a digital divide in the state of Maryland and really in anywhere in the country, what would you do to help students who don't have internet at home and can't access this resource?
I would make it so, I mean, of course, there's not a perfect solution, but, if they can work on this, things using ThinkPort while they're in class. And then also, for the things like the events and e-newsletter and things like that, if the teacher could translate that in a hard copy to send home and things like that, so they don't have to check out the website, would be really helpful. So that's how I would approach it.
I would agree.
So that was ThinkPort, guys. Thank you for listening to that tool.
All right, and I'll go ahead and talk about the next two tools. The next two tools that I will be talking about is Flickr and Ant. And let me go ahead and pull up my screen share. There we go. All right. So what is Plickers? Plickers is a tool that you can use to collect real-time formative assessment data without the hassle of grading papers or putting scantrons through the machine to get the grade. This is done with the use of a QR code, which is a little picture, and it shows little boxes. And each QR code represents a different answer, true or false, or A, B, C, D, and E. It provides the QR codes on their website for free, and clickers can be downloaded on iTunes with the use of a smart device. And the results are scanned and shown almost immediately on the teacher's device. I'll go ahead and show you the website. Here's the website. You can see that you can download it on the Android app or on the Google Store. And you can tailor instruction with almost instant feedback. You can engage all students in critical thinking, and it gives students a chance to use technology and participate and engage without feeling very self-conscious. And you can go to the cards, and you can get the standard cards, and you can also purchase a larger amount of cards, so the larger cards may block other students' cards, which can be an issue. And you can use the same card for multiple sets of classes, and you can even print them out and then laminate them. And how can you use clickers in the classroom? Well, there's many different ways. You can use clickers for a quick test to assess the student's knowledge. You can use it to get quick formative assessment data, and it allows teachers to know when they're ready to move on to the next subject. So, for example, if all the students get the answer wrong, then the teacher knows that they need to spend more time on the subject. But if they get them all right, then the teacher knows that they're ready to move on. Two clickers is that there's only multiple choice options, true or false, which can really limit the amount of questions that the teacher can ask. And it takes a lot of time to create the online assessment and time to scan each answer. A few examples that you can use in clickers is mathematics, where you can do a quick math assessment to analyze students' knowledge. You can use it in reading to see if students are comprehending the text, and you can even use it in science for quick true or false questions regarding the science projects. And it also allows teachers to assess the students' knowledge of a science topic. I personally have not seen clickers in action, but I know that it would be really well in low technology classes, and it would be useful for older grade levels instead of younger grade levels, simply because I might not be able to distinguish the different types of QR codes and the different cards that they need to get the correct answer. And then let's go ahead and move on to Ant. Ant is a brilliant video annotation tool, and teachers can create questions and create comments that are viewable on the video so students can respond while they're watching. This is actually a screenshot from a video annotation tool, from the video annotation that I made earlier, and you can see these dark squares right here, and that shows a question that's been made. And I have two different questions, and the teachers or the students can respond to the question through this little button. My page of the Ant, and as you can see, I have different videos. I have a brain pop, and I also have a video called "Why Does the Earth Have Layers?" You can view the amount of annotations that have been created. You can view it on YouTube, make it public, and share it with different people. And you can always go back and add more annotations. So I'll go ahead. Why does the Earth have layers? And I won't play the video for you guys, so you can fiddle around with it even more. But as you can see, there's the video itself, and here are the annotations that I've created. And you just press play, and as you're listening to the video, you can create the annotations, and you can turn on the captions, things, make anything italic, bold anything, and then you can respond to the annotation here. really be great for assigning homework at home, where students can watch the videos and respond to them for the next class period, kind of similar to the TED Talks. And would also be really good for projects where students can make their own videos and annotate them to outline important features or ask their classmates questions. It would also be really good for students to find a video that's relating to the topic that they are talking about in the classroom, annotate it to bring out important ideas. Some of the downfalls for ANTs would be that younger students might struggle to understand the programming. So they might not be able to understand how to annotate, where to annotate, but they would be able to read and understand. And students who don't have internet at home won't be able to access ANT on their own. So those students would only be able to access this program while in school. For examples of ANT in the classroom, you can use ANT in reading, mathematics, and science. With reading, teachers can find animated videos recalling the stories. For kindergarten, first, second, third, all the younger grades. Teachers can annotate the important features of the story and encourage students' critical thinking skills. Detailing the process of a math problem, and annotate the video to point out key terms, key phrases, and key subjects and anything that might be important to understand the math problem, and it allows students to find solutions to the problems that they might be struggling with, and they can use it almost as a mentor text. The way that, as you saw with my video, Why Does the Earth Have Layers? That is a great example for science. Teachers can find science videos and put in questions to have students critically think about the video and try and gain a deeper understanding of the topic that they're talking about. I have not seen ANTs in my placement. However, as I said before, this tool would be great in almost all grade levels. Older grade levels can annotate the video on their own, and teachers can annotate the videos for younger grade levels to stimulate their cognitive thinking skills. It's fairly easy to use once the students figure out how to actually annotate the video, and they can access their critical thinking skills to try and figure out what types of questions are needed to be asked. ANT is also great for low technology classrooms, just like Clicker, since almost all schools have a laptop cart with internet. And it would be great for homework if students have the internet access at home. And you can easily find online versions of stories that has been read in class and create notes to highlight the important moments of the stories. And there are my references. I found different sorts of blogs that review the apps and the tools that we've discussed, and you can click the links there. That is all for my Hangouts. Do you all have any questions?
So I had a question about, is it pronounced clickers, right? So how would you compare that to Kahoot? Are they similar? Would you prefer one, as far as assessment tools go?
Well, comparing Clicker and Kahoot, they're actually very different. They're both formative assessment tools. You're actually holding up a card that is a QR code, and it can be kind of difficult to use and understand. So for younger grades, I would prefer Kahoot, simply because there's only shapes and they can just click away. But if you don't have individual laptops or individual iPads, Clicker would be better to use, simply because they can just raise the card and then you scan it with your phone or with your iPad, and then there's the answers. You can see who really needs the help.
Right, of course. And then one other question with ANT. You said you've created 2 yourself, right?
Yeah.
Did you think the process was fairly simple, or was it kind of hard to get the hang of it the first time, or just how was your experience?
I found it to be fairly simple, but that's because I have previous knowledge with annotation of videos.
Okay.
I find that older students would be better suited to this, to annotate it on their own, simply because experience with technology. But I think younger students could possibly use this with practice and with help. It is a tedious process to annotate it, because you have to watch the video once through and then rewatch and insert annotations as you go. But overall, I find that many grade levels probably could get the hang of this with.
Okay, great.
All right. And we're going to go ahead and move on to Beverly's topics. So go ahead, Bev. Ah. Yep, just end it.